All right, there we go. Oh, good morning, Denise. Just me and my puppy here. I don't know if we could get a good shot of Willie. There's Willie. Yeah, he's a little poodle. Good morning, Pump. Yeah, so what I did is I accidentally went into the wrong live thing. I've still got to get that stupid Streamlab off of there. Yeah, Willie's not allowed to have coffee, so he uh he don't get the benefits. Uh, but how are you today, Pump? I know I haven't been around much. Seems like I've thankfully missed quite a bit. Yeah, okay. He had to get comfortable again. He was pawing at my leg. Work's got me pretty well. Yeah, work's got me pretty well. You know, basically they don't give me a day off. Actually, they do, but I get like Sundays and Wednesdays, so you never really feel like you get a day off. But at least I love my job. Yeah, the few lives I've been in, Pump, everybody, I don't know, everybody seems to, I don't know, just don't feel the same. It's one of them times where I'm really, really glad that my channel is not, you know, involved in all that. Yeah, at least I love my job. It's better than the last job I had, where I worked my butt off and didn't like my job. But it pays the bills. That's what I'm going for. I don't have time for drama. It does seem like everything's settled down, but I can definitely tell there's a change in the community. And I guess we'll see where that ends up. But thankfully, I live in an area where nothing ever changes. So, yeah, I'm seeing, like I said, I've seen part of it. I guess this dude with A1 has just gone off his rocker. Like I said, I haven't really been able to keep up with a whole lot of it. I don't really have a whole lot of time, but what little bit I have seen, just it's like, dang, people, don't you have anything better to do than just run around causing drama everywhere? My grandma had a saying for that. She said some people are never happy unless everybody around them is as miserable as they are. And I truly believe that. I think there are some people out there who, for whatever reason, are so miserable they just can't be happy unless everybody else is. Good morning, Sarah. How are you? Yeah, pretty much. I think the trouble is so many people are, they think they're insulated, like the comments that they make, the things they make. Um, I don't know. I think sometimes we lose our humanity when we sit behind a keyboard and go to attacking other people. Yeah, yeah, and there's that too. Um, some people do. That was my dad's favorite saying, Denise, was "You can't fix stupid." His other favorite saying was, "But you can shut it up with duct tape." But my dad was also one of them old type dudes that thought duct tape and a rubber band would fix almost anything. How are you, lovely peoples? This is true, Paul. And I think some people forget that. They forget that paranormal, by definition, is anything outside of the normal bounds. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a ghost. It just means it's um, abnormal. So, I mean, technically, a weird looking rock that's somewhere it's not supposed to be could be paranormal. It's out of the normal. Yeah, Dad was pretty good MacGyver. He grew up out in the country, so he kind of learned to. Well, yeah, there's a whole thing with it. He learned to be a MacGyver. Yeah, that's another thing. I've always been a big one that if you wouldn't walk up to the person and say it to their face, don't say it. Just don't. Because, I mean, when it comes down to it, if the internet went away tomorrow, as much as I love being a part of the community I'm a part of, as much as I would miss being able to talk to some of you guys, if the internet went away tomorrow, my day to day life would not be affected. So, and I'm pretty sure that most people on the internet are the same way. Now, I know there are some people on there who are making their livings on the internet, and that would greatly affect them. But I think for most people on the day to day, all of this could disappear tomorrow. And within a week, it would be like it was never there. Well, good thing about it is it's coming on summertime and snowflakes melt. I've also noticed a pattern in human behavior. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but it's called cabin fever. And for some people, it just, they go nuts. And I don't know if that's got something to do with it or not, but some people just go nuts. They lose their ever loving mind when the cold weather starts to turn warm. And I've seen some of that, like everybody just gets, I don't know, more touchy. I don't know. But again, as far as I'm concerned, I could piss everybody on the internet off and shut the whole thing down, and tomorrow I would go on about my day like nothing ever happened. When it comes down to it, there's just not that much shit that's important. Well, okay, let me clarify that, Pomp. So I know, especially in business and things like that, there are a lot of interconnectedness going on with the internet and stuff like that. So let's say the internet as a tool itself, which is what it is. It's just a tool for people to use to do things with. Let's say we took out the personal part of it, and the only thing that could be done on the internet was business transactions. I still say the rest of it could go away, and the world would learn to live without it, just like most of us in the world today grew up without it. We still know how to operate without the internet. Oh, we did a lot of hands-on history whenever I was in school, but my teachers also thought that you learned better. Like I've seen it. When you read something, write something, and then do something, you remember it better because our brains learn in three ways. We read it, we write it, we do it. And if you can bring all three of those methods into teaching, you are going to make your students retain that information longer and better. Uh, I don't know, Pomp. I think it would cause quite a bit of chaos, but I also think it would teach a few people a lesson. You know, I just wish everybody would be a little more circumspect about what they say. Speak your mind, but you don't have to attack people. And there are some people out there that do that. Yeah, that's what we learned in school, Pomp. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. But I had a good history teacher too, and I had a good science teacher. They both actually enjoyed breaking the material down and teaching it, and that came across. Um, I think whenever you learn and you have a teacher that loves their subject, they get it across to their kids better. Sarah, there are a few people out there that are like that. Like me, I can tell you right now, I get enough social interaction. I have to be socially active when I have my job. But honestly, before I started working as like a bartender, I was. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people, they've gotten the idea, Pomp, that when somebody speaks their mind and they're honest, if they don't agree with it, that they're being attacked. Um, there are a few social aspects of the human condition that I think a lot of people have gotten away from. I think a lot of people have forgotten that it's okay if not everybody likes you because we all have different personalities. So, hey, not everybody's going to get along. But just because somebody doesn't like you doesn't mean they're attacking you. Just because they don't agree with you doesn't mean that they're personally attacking you. So, that's why I said I'm glad that I do what I do and I make my little recipes and I post them online. And if people watch them, people watch them. I'm glad people do watch them. And other than that, it's just that I do it because I want to. I doubt my channel is ever going to get big enough that I can even think of making a living from it. I mean, look at all the cooking shows out there. Well, honestly, that was one of the first lessons I was taught as a kid. the first time I came home upset that a kid I thought was my friend turned out not to be my friend. My mom sat me down and explained to me that, honey, it's okay. You guys' personalities are different. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, and that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. You're just different people. Yeah, I've got a neighbor that needs to learn boundaries too. They're a lot more friendly than I am, but I don't like people just like surprise showing up at my house. I live back in the woods. So if somebody's coming down my driveway, I definitely can hear it from a long way off. So mm, I don't want to be mean because they are a friendly person, but they just don't have any boundaries. And it's like sometimes I just want to say, honey, go home. Go home. I'm tired. I don't want visitors. But she's such a sweet lady that it's hard to say that. So I usually wind up chatting with her for at least half an hour. I think sometimes they do too. I mean, this community is incredibly supportive. Like I said, I'm not even paranormal, and it's support from the paranormal community that I'm a part of that has gotten me to the point where I'm at now. I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have enough subscribers to do the lives, which I've actually seen a pickup on my channel because of being able to do live. But I've hit a plateau at about 80 subscribers, and I've been there for a while, and I'm okay with that because I can look on my stuff and see that pretty much all of the people that are subscribed to me go back and watch my videos. And I think that's the part of it that counts. You can have all the subs you want, and if nobody's watching your stuff, you're still not getting into it doesn't matter. Yeah, anytime there's a family around with kids, you gotta kind of know that there's gonna be some loud noises and things like that when the kids are getting up and playing and stuff. Oh, I know what you're saying, Paul. Um, I don't know quite how to put it into words, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, my brain is slow this morning. Well, okay, I'll just admit my brain is slow every morning, and that's just how it is. Uh, like I said, I'm just glad that my little page doesn't get the kind of stuff that everybody else's does. Because quite honestly, I know how I am. I would get aggravated with it, and I'd just shut the whole thing down. Be like, you know what? Forget it. Didn't need it before. Don't need it now. Yes, I am. Now that's not to say that if something's bothering you guys, we can't sit and hash it out and bullshit and have us a good little bitch fest. But by and large, I just want this to be a place where one, the people who enjoy coming to watch my videos come to watch them, and two, people feel like they're okay with being able to talk about stuff. Now, yeah, that's the ones I was talking about earlier, Sarah. People who just don't seem to be happy unless everybody around them is miserable. It goes back to the whole misery loves company. Well, happiness loves company too. And I prefer to keep company with people that are by and large happy people. I do sometimes kind of wonder, especially with the older folks, what kind of life has led them to be that bitter. Um, I've run into one or two people in my life where a sincere olive branch of friendship will be taken okay, but there are some of them, I don't know if they've just gotten tired of life, if they've just gotten tired of people, but they just don't want to seem, they don't want anybody around. It's like, just leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, those are the ones that can't breathe, Paul. They're not breathing oxygen, they're breathing methane. Yeah, and the ones who want to hang on to people's words, they overanalyze. Like they take something somebody says and they overanalyze it or they take it personally. Well, my grandma always said if you take something personally that somebody else has said and they're not talking directly to you, you have a guilty conscience. And by and large, I found that to be true. So, yeah, that's the thing. Most of the time, the way people are is because of the life they've lived. Now, whether it's their, well, actually, it is their own choices that bring them to that. And the reason I say that is because when you finally sit down and think about it in the final examination, your choices led you to where you were. Your choice of people you've allowed into your life is what brought their drama into it. You have the final choice of either allowing it or not allowing it. I learned that one the hard way. As a younger person, I went through some stuff and I was like, well, it's not my fault. And then my dad finally set me down and said, Cindy, did you choose to let that person in your life? Yeah. Cindy, did you choose to do those things? Yeah. Was anybody holding a gun to your head? Was anybody in any way forcing you? No. Then, Cindy, whose fault is it? You have to learn to take accountability. And I think there are people that don't. Um, or they finally learn to, but it's after they've made a series of bad decisions that they're now going to have to deal with. And some people are able to do that, Paul. The lucky ones can. They can get past it. They're not constantly spreading it around. Um, they don't allow it. They don't allow the things that have happened to them to make their lives miserable to the point where they can't live it. Um, I've only once or twice ever met people who didn't seem to be able to pull themselves out or didn't want to be pulled out whenever they were offered help. Um, and that's the thing. It's horrible things happen. I've had some horrible things happen to me. It's how you choose to live life afterwards that defines who you are. Not what you've got in your house, not your bank account, not how many friends you've got. It's how you choose to go on. And that's the thing. You gotta choose. Happiness really is a choice. And sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. I've had to do that too. Yeah, and that's the thing. And so that is the flip side. That's the flip side of it, Paul. Sometimes people tend to think that you're okay because you can put up a good front, but they don't realize that that particular day, it really is just a front. You're really not feeling it, but you ain't trying to make everybody else miserable either. So, yeah, I mean and it's hard to deal with, and it's hard to get them to understand. When you can make it seem like you are happy most of the time, it's hard for them to understand that that's not the only side to you. Yeah, and that's what it is. No, I really wish that I wish that we could get to a point where you didn't have to wear a mask anymore. But unfortunately, some people just they don't. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Paul. They just don't want to. They don't want to think about it. They get so used to you being a certain way that it's like they can't handle it when you're not that way. Hmm. Apparently, there are just 6 people listening to me talk. Uh, that always surprises me whenever I see more people on than I'm actually talking to. I'm like, I'm not that interesting. I'm really not. Yeah, it's the expectations. Me, if I'm not feeling it that day, even if I've got the time, I'm not gonna do a live. It is early, but like if I'm feeling it, yeah, I'll go live. Like this morning. Well, I can tell you what, Pump. I hope you never feel that way here. Not in this live, because in this live, you let it all hang out. If you ain't feeling it, you ain't feeling it. Heck, I can't. I get paid to make people laugh and bullshit with people, and there are days when I really feel like I've got like a robot face in front of mine with a smile and basically on it, and I'm just trying my best not to snap. I'm trying my best not to take their head off, and they don't understand that I'm just having a bad day. But I can't necessarily take their head off or I get fired. You know, people don't want a bartender that is going to offer them a decapitation along with their drink. I think I'm saying all kinds of YouTube trigger words too, so I'm pretty sure if they get a hold of this one, it's going to be taken down. I'm pretty sure the last one I said you're not allowed to say on YouTube, but I can't remember all the crap you're not allowed to say on here anymore, so they go stick it up their bums. Yeah, a quiet bartender people tend to look at suspiciously. They want to know what you're thinking, and they might start to question what they're drinking. Uh, no, it's not early for you, Pomp. It would be. Well, you guys aren't quite 6 hours ahead again yet, are you, Pomp? Have you guys went forward again? I'm not sure if there's a cheat sheet of words or not, Denise, but I can tell you this: I'm too lazy to look it up, and probably don't care enough to follow it. This weekend, okay. One of these days, the world will figure out that we no longer need to move forward and drop back. Because I mean, I don't know why everybody else's countries started doing the whole daylight savings time, but honestly, ours was due to our farmers. That we were such an agriculture based economy that that's that's why they started doing daylight savings times, is to give our farmers more times out in the field. That's why we get summers off over here, and most people don't know that. We would get summers off here because way, way, way back when, summertime was a time whenever the kids were needed on the farm. And then into the fall, there would be kids that would be gone for a while because they were helping mom and dad harvest. Now I'm talking 80 to 90, maybe 100 years ago, but we no longer need it. So I don't understand why we still have it. I mean, I know teachers and kids like getting off during the summer, but educationally speaking, we would be much more advanced if we went to school year round. Mhm. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but excuse me. Well, you are not responsible for other people's reactions, as far as that goes. I mean, people get down. and have bad weeks, they have bad days, and that shouldn't change the way people react to you. Unfortunately, they're human, so it does, but it shouldn't. Oh, well, so I went to school, Denise, in Harrisburg, Illinois for a little while, and I'm 41 years old. So we're talking 30 years ago, thereabouts. I would have been in fourth grade, and they did. So they did 3 months on, 3 weeks off. So you go for 3 months, you get a 3 week vacation. You go for 3 months, you get a 3 week vacation. And the scores at the end of the year on that school were higher than every other school around them. So, I mean, it was shown in the performance of the students and in their ability to retain the information and not have to basically spend the first month of the school year going back over things they learned the previous year so that they can get started on the new stuff. There was no gap there. So they were basically able to continue learning without a stopping point. Um, they actually finished most of their textbooks. I don't know about you guys, but I can hardly ever remember actually getting to the end of a textbook in school before the end of the year. And it always, even as a kid, I was like, well, that's all stuff we're not learning. And it's in the book. And somewhere, somebody is going to want to know the answers that we didn't learn. Yeah, I think in the summer, I believe around July, we actually got like the whole month of July off. Some schools did August. Harrisburg chose to do July. And I think it had a lot to do with like travel and stuff like that. Because some people do, the only time they get to go see family, especially if they have family that lives pretty far off, is during the long breaks. So, and then of course you get 2 weeks off for Christmas. But other than that, I mean, all this a week long off for Easter, another week for spring break. There are some of these schools that like they only are actually in session 170 days out of the year. That is not enough time. They're basically out of school just a little over half the year or a little under half the year. And I'm with you, Pomp. I'm telling you right now, if we didn't have time, if we didn't have this whole daylight savings time, it'd be a lot easier. Because I mean, to me, if I go in at 5 o'clock in the morning, it don't matter to me if it's daylight or dark. I got to go in at 5 o'clock in the morning. I actually used to read ahead in my textbook, Sarah. Um, but that's how I began noticing that we weren't finishing the textbooks is because some of them I would finish and just because I liked the history books, the science books, things like that. Oh, hold on, guys. I gotta readjust. My knees starting to hurt. Mm, that's one thing. If I could go back and tell my 16-year-old self, do the physical therapy for your knee. I don't know about you guys, but our school, whenever I was in high school, had the old wooden risers, and I stepped down into the gap in them and tore my knee up, and then thought that because I was 16 and after about 20 minutes it quit hurting that I didn't need to do the physical therapy. Wrong. Uh, Now I know. I think Sarah's supposed to be going live here in about 45 minutes. And I don't remember if my membership is still caught up or not. So I don't know if I'll be joining you guys in the live. I seriously can't remember. Uh, it's always a surprise anymore when I go in and my name's green. Oh, all right. Doc, you just stay there. So Doc is the big dog, and he gets up and moves around, and he takes up so much space that he makes it hard for anybody else to move around. Well, okay, so I went in when my kids started school. They went to the same school I did, and they finally did pump get the solid ones. And that was like the best thing that ever happened because those old wooden risers actually were kind of dangerous. I'm trying to get my phone to set up here. Crap. All right, sit and stay. There we go. Yeah, I'm still in my PJs. Yes, that's bacon and eggs on my PJ pants. But yeah, I was glad when they finally got the solid stairs, um, without the gap between the riser sections, because that was the dangerous part is the gap between each section. Um, and it seemed like the older those risers got, the bigger that gap got. Oh, but we had old hard gym floors too. Like we still had like the hardwood floors in our gym. I don't know what they did to it in the last 10 years, but last time I went in there, it felt like there was rubber on the floor. And then they had to build an entryway to the gym because it raised the level of the floor. Why they didn't just take the old floor up and put the new floor down, I have no idea. But hey, I wasn't the one in charge of that project. Oh, oops. Okay. I really got to quit touching buttons when I'm doing this. Oh, oh, no. There it went. Never mind. I had a thought and then it left. I always thought the wooden floors were better for playing stuff like basketball and things like that. And I thought it was slightly funny when the uncoordinated kid tried to bounce. Yes, I know, Pomp. I smoke too much. I smoke way too much. And actually, the cigarette's not what I want. Yeah, I think, and I don't understand it. So I smoke a lot in the mornings like when I first get up. But then, like the rest of the day, I don't hardly smoke anything at all. And I'm thinking if I could just get past the morning ritual, that I probably could quit smoking. Um, but that's the hard part is getting past the morning ritual. They didn't have that whenever I was in school. They did whenever my my older cousins were in school, but by the time I got to high school, the climbing rope and frame was already gone. And I'm like, well, why? I always thought it was fun. I thought it would be fun, you know. I didn't hate it too much, Denise, but then I grew up out in the woods, so I mean, we were climbing 6 and 8 feet high up in trees and swinging off branches, and I mean, we were a bunch of climbers. But when you live out in the woods and you're a mile or you're an hour from town, you pretty much make up your own little jungle gyms. The one I hated was cardio day because even though I could climb like a monkey, I couldn't run for shit. Like even now, if you see me running, you should probably not ask why. Just start running the direction I'm heading in because I'm only going to run if there's something big behind me that has claws and teeth and is a threat to my life. Oh, dang. Well, I mean, so we basically lived out in the middle of the areas that everybody would come to do the camping. Like we lived out in the woods, so our camping was basically as kids we'd pitch a tent in the backyard and scare the crap out of ourselves to see who would stay in the tent the longest. I mean, we were never outside of the yard, so yeah, rope burns. Had a couple of rope burns, but I'm gonna tell you now, sliding down the trunk of a tree, I think that one's a little worse. Well, good morning, Wayne. How are you? But oh, yeah, I don't even want to think about that, pump. We don't want to talk about rope burns no more. That's just painful. Oh, how are you this morning, Wayne? Well, I got up, had the time and the internet service, so I decided I'd go live. Other than that, here in about 3 hours after I get done doing what I'm doing, which isn't just this, it's I got some stuff I need to do, which is, you know, probably a good thing Sarah's going live here in just a little bit because otherwise I'd be on here too long and not get my stuff done. Um, yeah, a lot of carpet burns. As kids, most of us lived in a trailer, and there was always carpet everywhere, everywhere. You couldn't wrestle or play a game or anything, and it was that nasty carpet. Like it felt like freaking steel wool. All right, that's going. Oh, Wayne. Oh, buddy, you are something else. Always good for a laugh, though, even when you're telling dad jokes. Uh, so that's the joke. Oh, oh. Well, are you at least able to get your feet on the floor and stand up? Ah, Pomp, that's what you were talking about. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. uh, um, yeah, I'm not even sure how to respond to that. uh, it's hard to be witty when your brain's moving in slow motion. What's up, Doc? So if you just randomly hear me say "What's up, Doc," it's the dog. That's the dog's name is Doc. I'm not doing a Bugs Bunny impersonation. I used to be able to. Well, good Lord, Wayne. I hope you've at least got that much good. Yeah. I hope you at least have that much coordination. So, do you need to throw Cheerios in and aim at the Cheerios, or what do you do there? Sorry, to be honest, that's how I taught my boys. That's what we used Fruit Loops for. We didn't buy them to eat them. They were targets for my boys to learn how to go to the bathroom in the toilet and not get all over the toilet seat. So that was a trick my grandma taught me. Wayne. Uh, well, I actually had two boys and a girl, so but yeah, I mean, that was a trick that my grandma told me, and mom said she used it. Some of my friends' moms said, yeah, that's how we did it. Some of them was like, no, we just had the little beads or something. We throw them off in there. Some people didn't use the beads because they said they couldn't flush them down the toilet. Well, yeah, you don't want to flush hard beads down the toilet, so use Cheerios or Fruit Loops. Yeah, Denise. Oh my God. So there's Wayne's joke. Oh man, you are not sorry a bit, Wayne. You know you are not. Uh, that's kind of like Pomp's comment right there. I think they both kind of go in together. uh, I do, Wayne. I'll tell you the same thing I tell Pomp when he tells a joke. Don't be sorry for it. It made everybody laugh. And we're all adults, so take a joke. No, but seriously, between you and Pomp, most of the time, I am like laughing my ass off just reading you guys' comments. And then if either of you two get going with anybody else, it's just like a riot the whole time. So, yep, yep, yep. We like to laugh. So, okay. I gotta locate three dogs. Just keep them keep an eye on them, especially the bulldog. He gets up to some mischief now and then. I mean, this dog literally thinks he's a bulldozer. He'll like rearrange the furniture just by walking into it and just keeps walking. It's crazy. He's got no spatial relations, whatever, whatsoever. Oh, you guys' joke content is a little bit different, Paul, but it's the kind of humor that you bring to it. And as far as I'm concerned, you guys are both funny. When you're feeling it and you're on point, you're funny. And if you ain't feeling it, then don't worry about it. Oh, all right. Well, here in about a half hour, guys, I'm gonna have to hop off here because I know I'm gonna have to let the dogs out, and then I will have to get my day started. I got to do some work on my fish tank. My angelfish apparently did not like where I put the new plants in, so they rearranged them. Now I got to go stick them back down again. I think she was wanting to make you think for a minute, Pomp. Not today, Wayne. I just posted a video yesterday. I did finally got to do the New York cheesecake. I would say read the directions. I posted them in the description. When I do them like that, when I do the videos, I only have so much space on my phone to record the video. So they're a little bit shorter. And what I'm gonna have to start doing is just posting any kind of tips or tricks in the description. So um, I've also started telling everybody, if you guys watch one of my videos and you have a question about something that's in there, like a technique or a substitution that can be done, I don't get a chance to get on and actually be in the lives a whole lot, but I do try to keep track of my posts. So what I would like to have done was, be able to take a day and do a live. Yeah, I've kind of figured that one out, Pump. And my angelfish are, I think they're nuts. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try and do that with my videos. I would like to be able to say I'd do one live a week and just answer questions from videos that I'd posted, but um, I'm still kind of getting used to the new schedule. I am supposed to have a service person come out, I think 3 weeks from now, and hook up some internet at the house. So maybe I can start doing lives from my house. That's the thing out there. It is so hard to get internet service that one will work all the time, and two doesn't cost you an arm and a freaking leg to have it. Okay. Hey guys, hold on. I gotta put my phone down for just a second. There's some noise in the front room, and it's probably the dogs. Chat amongst yourselves. I will be okay. See you later, Pump. Yeah, so the dogs were rearranging the furniture. Apparently, they wanted their chairs to face the window so they could look out the window. Have a good day, Pomp. Or evening. It's evening for you, isn't it? Uh, and then Willie, he likes to squeeze into He likes to squeeze into the smallest area possible. Hi, Deb. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Sarah. You guys are like 5 or 6 hours ahead. So if it's morning here, it's generally at least early afternoon with you guys. I'm glad it's not 1:30 p.m. here though, or I already be getting ready for work. So and like I said, I gotta take care of my fish tanks before I can do that. And then do some other household chores. I hate household chores. I really do. So yeah, though, that is one thing, Wayne. It is sunny here. I love it. We're finally starting to get some warmer temperatures. Um, so that you can go outside in the morning and not feel like you're about to freeze your butt off. I really wish I could find some place that stays like, I don't know, about 70 degrees all year long. Unfortunately, they also generally come with the risk of like hurricane, earthquake, volcano, all things I would really rather avoid. um, it's actually pretty sunny here. All blue skies here in Missouri. Um, which is kind of unusual because we've been getting some fairly cloudy weather. Yeah, see, the thing is, I can't do large cities. I just can't. They have a smell to me, and I cannot tolerate it. Um, Even St. Louis, it's not that big a city, but there's a smell, and you can smell it for miles before you get there. So, can't do it. Wish I could, but to me, it just smells like unwashed, dirty stuff. Not people, not clothes. It's just like, I don't know, it's just a weird smell. So I try to avoid that anytime I can. I prefer to go to my local little town anytime I can to do what I need to do. That and I prefer, Wayne, there is no way that you did that and I'm smelling it from all the way over here. If so, I imagine there's probably a whole area around you right now where everything is just passed out. Like the tree branches are, doing this to their trunks, going, oh no. Yeah, now there are some cities I'd like to visit. London's one of them. Wayne, I've smelled some that were pretty bad, but never, never that I could smell from miles away. Not for one single person. uh, but yeah, I mean, there are some cities and places in the world that I would like to visit, but that doesn't mean I'd want to live there. Um, there's a couple places. There's quite a few places here in the United States I'd like to visit, but that's it. And even then, with some of them, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna wander around by myself. I'll get lost and never come out of here. I firmly believe that if you were to take me and drop me in the middle of New York City, it would probably take me a year to find my way back out. And by the time I did, it wouldn't be a good thing. I'd be nuts. Uh, See, that's the one thing about it, Wayne. When I do go visit somewhere like that, like if I was to go visit the UK, um, I know along what they call the tourist routes, there are a lot of very interesting things to see, but I was always more of the one who I would want to get off the beaten track, so to speak. Um, I always thought that it would be a far more enlightening experience to see a country from the point of the people who live there. Not just the high points and what everybody else wants you to see, but to see the real one. Now that's true. Tell you what, if I travel, that's one thing. I will travel on my stomach. I love to eat. So I'm gonna want to go to places that have got really good food. I don't care if it's some little village and the locals tell me, hey, this little pub over here in the corner that you can't hardly even tell is a business has got the best food ever. That's the one I'm going to. And yeah, that's it. I want to know that too. What are Fortnums? What are those, Sarah? And that's why, yeah, I think get off the beaten path and find a local who would be willing to show you around, and you're probably gonna have a much better time. Um, oh, okay. Well, if I ever get a chance to visit, I'm gonna definitely have to look them up. That's one thing I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get some international recipes that I can start doing some videos on. So that's another thing. I mean, if anybody has a recipe, um, leave it in the comments. Just leave the name of the recipe in the comments, unless you have one that is specific to you. Um, okay, Willie, sure. I don't know. He just spun around like 10 times and then sat down in the same spot he got up from. I'm not sure. Willie's kind of simple sometimes. Well, no, that's the thing. I don't mind paying a little bit more if the food's good. Um, I do think you get what you paid for sometimes, especially with food. Yeah, that's the thing, Deb. I think with your bigger tourist locations, they get hyped up a lot. Um, and people tend to forget that the high points are not the only points there are. Um, there's a lot to see in London besides just what the whole world knows about. Um, it's just like Wales or Scotland. I am sure that there are tourist locations in both of those places, and they're probably really interesting. But what I would like to see is the countryside. I would like to see the real heart of the place I'm going to visit. That's just me, maybe, but if I'm going to pay that much for a vacation, I don't want to spend that whole vacation running around like crazy on somebody else's itinerary. And that's what I look for, Wayne. Yeah, let me see the historical places, but let me see some of the natural beauty too. Because I mean, that's one thing I would tell anybody who wants to come visit the United States. Yes, we have some very nice historical locations. Yes, there are some very nice tourist locations, but you are gonna see the best of the United States by going where the real people live, and you're gonna meet some really friendly ones too, especially if you get out of the cities. Not that the cities don't have friendly people, but by and large, if you really want to find a community, you go to the smaller ones. A lot of them that I know of, especially the ones I grew up in, they welcome new people. "Oh, you're new here? Oh, you gotta see this place, or you gotta go that place, or man, you need to talk to this guy or that guy or whatever." They wanna they want to introduce you to the whole damn town, you know? Oh, that's I've never been there, but I've never been anywhere in the UK. But I don't think I've ever been any. I've never been out of the continental United States. um, the Rocky Mountains are beautiful, but just like any other place of extreme conditions, um, you don't want to visit them without preparation. And those might be one place you do want to stay on the beaten path, because getting lost out there would not be a good idea. And people get lost out there even if they stay on the beaten track. I had a friend that lived in Colorado Springs, and they used to send me pictures and video every year of the changes along the lower slopes of the mountain. As you watch you can basically watch it as fall comes along. All of the broadleaf trees start changing colors, and then once you get up to the edge of where the broadleaves are, it's just like a ring of green, and it's just all evergreen. Um, that was some of the most beautiful pictures I'd ever had. So Denise, I don't know if you're familiar with Garfield and Friends, but he had an episode where they were basically, kind of tongue in cheek, showing how the states were made. And one of the big jokes was Wyoming isn't there. They ran out of space. Uh, they didn't have space in the lower 48, so that's how Hawaii got stuck out in the ocean. uh, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you all dropped in. It was nice to see everybody. Nice to actually have the time to see everybody. Um, I'll probably go see my mom tomorrow. So I don't know. There is one thing I was going to say. So, I did a vote in Sarah's live to ask for some ideas on what to name my channel, and I got quite a few good ideas. But I think the one I'm going to start with, see if it takes off, is one that wasn't even suggested as an idea for a name, but Sky got it. Sky kept telling it, kept saying it, and that's Food Fight. I thought that was kind of a funny little name, and I was thinking about going ahead and doing that as a name on the channel. What do you guys think? 'Cause I don't really want a name that's got my name in it. And I do know I've been getting pestering emails from YouTube about actually naming my channel. So I think Wayne, you were actually in the live when I was talking to Sarah about it. Fantastique. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, Wayne. I thought about changing it to Food Fight because I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, considering I'm a cooking channel, uh, I thought Food Fight sounded kind of funny. Well, see, if I do with the cooking technology thing, that means I'm gonna have to start doing a lot more research. And most of what I know about these recipes, I just know they work. I don't know a whole lot of the science behind most of them. And most of the time, I don't use a whole lot of technology in my cooking. Like I'm pretty bare bones, so I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, and that's oh, techniques. Okay, yeah. That that actually makes more sense. Um, yeah, and that's what YouTube's been telling me that if I actually want to really, get in on people seeing my channel and stuff like that that are looking for food, I need to make sure it's got some kind of food related wording in it. Um, I also know a lot of people when they're looking through stuff, they're looking for that eye catching name, and that's why one of the things I thought, okay, food fight. Well, you see food fight pop up, and what's the first thing you're gonna do? You want to check it out. If you know, at least I would anyway, because some of them videos actually are of food fights, and wow, talk about funny. But yeah, something that'll kind of pop it up in the searches, and like I said, I've got the time to do it today. I think I'm gonna go ahead and change the channel name over. It won't change the link. Um, as far as I know, it's not gonna change like the subscriber thing or nothing like that. It's just gonna be the name that changes. And I may go ahead and keep my name in it for a little while, just until everybody gets used to it. 'Cause I don't want to lose anybody that's already here. Um, and then I'll probably still continue to do some of the other stuff that I do. Like every now and then, I just go take a walk out in the woods. I'll make a little video if I see anything interesting. Um, Surprisingly, my fish tank videos do fairly well, but I don't really want to get into that because, oh Lord, there's a lot of research in that. And quite frankly, I'm just not. I love my fish, but I'm not interested in learning a bunch of stuff beyond what it takes to take care of mine. But much love to you guys. I am gonna have to get off here. I need to let the dogs out one more time before I leave, and then I need to get my day started. Oh yeah, I love eating fish. Um, one of the staples here is fried fish, but I do like grilled fish. I do steamed fish, baked fish. So that's a good idea for my next video. It's coming on fishing time, so nothing better than cooking up your own fresh caught fish. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. Um, I will still be posting videos. I don't know when my next live will be. Probably just be surprise. So yes, I love good fish. So I will see you guys later. I'm gonna try and be in Sarah's live. Like I said, I don't know. I know it's a members only, and I can't remember if I renewed my subscription or not. So I'll either see you guys or I won't. Love y'all.